Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, viewers. I'm Nurul Izza. Today on Thursday, 7th of April 2022, happy gathering with us in BBC program, which will provide you the real news, which taken back factually and actually. I will accompany you about 5 minutes with many kind of information. So let's begin our news today. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in more than 6 million deaths globally, and with the presence of the Omicron variant that has triggered an increase in the transmission rate to 490 million worldwide, it's only natural that other health problems receive less attention. However, other public health risks should not be ignored, such as the presence of 1 billion smokers in all countries of the world and the death rate from smoking-related diseases which reach 5 million people per year, the majority of which are found in developing countries. Indonesia is one of the developing countries facing up to 6 million cases of COVID-19 with more than 150,000 deaths. At the same time, Indonesia is also recorded to have 60 million per-cigarettes with 300 deaths per year related to smoking habits. The figure is twice the number of deaths due to COVID-19. This condition is increasingly concerning because it is accompanied by an increase in smoking habit among young people. On the other hand, the COVID-19 pandemic seems to be starting to recede in various parts of the world. Many countries are now starting to learn to live side by side with the virus. Then, how does Indonesia define new normal when viewed from the context of the chronic problem it is facing, namely the smoking epidemic? Here are the main 3 things that deserve attention in this regard. First, do smokers have a big risk in being exposed to the COVID-19 virus and potentially face more serious health risks compared to non-smokers? Although there are no valid studies evaluating the risk of SARS-CoV infection associated with smoking. According to the World Health Organization, or we can call it WHO, tobacco use can intuitively increase the risk of developing serious symptoms due to the exposure to COVID-19. Early research shows that the health condition of COVID-19 patients with a history of smoking is substantially worse and potentially more serious than that of non-smokers. Evidence from China, where COVID-19 originates, suggests that people who have cardiovascular and respiratory disease caused by smoking or other factors are at a higher risk of developing severe COVID-19 symptoms. Correspondingly, finger contact and possibly cigarettes contaminated with rice with lips make tobacco smokers potentially more susceptible to contracting COVID-19. So, the second, the implementation of impacts of COVID-19 on the health system. There is no doubt that the COVID-19 pandemic has had a serious impact on various health systems, especially in developing countries, including Indonesia. The immediate and most fatal consequences are evident on the health system. Smokers who suffer from severe COVID-19 symptoms, especially those who are elderly and not vaccinated, will need care urgently in need on ventilator, oxygen and ICU facilities in the hospital. In addition, the healthcare system needs to be prepared to deal with long-term sequelae, we can call it long COVID, in recovered patients. These advanced symptoms include extreme tiredness, shortness of breath, palpitation, chest pain or shortness of breath, impaired memory and concentration, and change in the sense of taste and smell for 4 or more weeks, even up to 12 weeks. Although the level of tendency for long-time COVID-19 symptoms in Indonesian smokers has not been adequately documented, this syndrome has clear implications for the already fragile health care burden, particularly particularly for the treatment of chronic disease and the management of mental health problems. From a broader perspective, there is a price to pay when it comes to stress and depression, as well as the economic burden associated with lost productivity and the resource of income. Alright, audience, so the third main thing that is mapping strategies to overcome the various challenges above. Considering all the above I have explained, the need to tackle the smoking epidemic in Indonesia seems to be increasing and pressing. Therefore, the need to introduce innovative and new tobacco harm reduction methods is becoming increasingly urgent. This is necessary to complement existing conventional strategies such as nicotine replacement therapy, counseling, and others to help reduce the prevalence of smoking in Indonesia. There is a recent in-depth and comprehensive study of the global literature focusing on risk analysis and evaluation of various hazardous and potentially hazardous substances, or HPHC, by the Bandung Institute of Technology (ITB). The study showed that alternative tobacco products, the tobacco products such as heated tobacco products and e-cigarettes, had much lower risk, lower than cigarettes. Further analysis showed that the product also had a higher margin of exposure or lower exposure that carcinogenic and chenotoxic HPHC than cigarettes. In the future, the scientific evidence-based approach is very important in effort to formulate the right policies in Indonesia. This is to increase the accessibility and encourage smokers to alternative tobacco products that play a vital role in helping those who want to quit smoking. However, the reality shows the search on alternative tobacco products is still limited in Indonesia. It is hoped that more academic institutions will follow in the footsteps of ITB in contributing the results of high-quality local studies, which can be input and consideration for rational policy and to increase global knowledge in this important research field. So, in conclusion, policies and strategies to reduce the number of smokers in Indonesia must anticipate the potential for unexpected disorders, such as the lockdown due to the pandemic, which may be associated with an increase in daily tobacco consumption, and also the possibility in increasing daily tobacco consumption will still occur even after easing, which has the potential to increase burden on the healthcare system. Public health policies against pandemic to focus on direct and tangible consequences. However, interventions to support those who have recently quit smoking and for those who are trying to quit should also be a key component of pandemic planning and policy in the post-pandemic era. Well, audience, that's all our news today. If you have some critiques or suggestions, you may send or contact us in our BBC web. So for the wise word today, do the best and don't think to be the best. And I'm Arini Nurul Izza and all of the crew of BBC TV. We say see you next time and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.